We begin with Daily Trust newspaper. It leads with the tragic incident in the northeast and also in the northwest, where you have terrorists killing 65 farmers and others in Katsina and Borno attacks. It says, the writer says, Boko Haram slaughter 50 in Iran, injure many. I'm yet to be briefed, police commissioner says. Our people under siege, says Rep. Jimba. 15 killed, over 100 cows rustled in Jibia, and then that's in Katsina State. You take a look at the pictorial. There it shows you the squabble that happened yesterday while the former governor of Imo State was attempting to evade arrest when the EFCC officials went to his home, and for hours they were there in the premises, but he never wanted to submit himself up. So that caused a lot of drama and a lot of buzz on social media yesterday. Now, you also find other stories beside that. School feeding FG to spend 999 million naira daily on 10 million pupils. And then Abuja, Kaduna train attackers give conditions to federal government. At the bottom there, I'm now left with nobody. Husband of woman killed with 4 kids by IPOP. ACF, NEF, CAN condemn killings. Demand decisive action from Southeast governors. You'd find all of the details on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Below the masthead, presidency, 811 delegates to decide Atiku, Saraki, Obi, others' fate. And then you have also CBN raises interest rate to 13%. These are the stories on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay, let's take a look at the front page of the Tribune newspaper. It says, killing of pregnant woman for children in Anambra. Can Ariwa groups say things getting out of hand? They have a writer that says, Boko Haram kills over 60 farmers in Borno. Bandits killed 12 in Katsina community. Terrorists forced 25,000 maize farmers out of farm. Killed 1,454 in Katsina. This is coming from the Maize Farmers Association. Then at the top, right at the top of, above the masthead, we have EFCC shoots, fires tear gas, breaks doors to arrest Okorocha. Governors meet today. Court ruling on LGA financial autonomy may top the agenda. We also have a story there below the pictorial that says 811 delegates to pick PDP's presidential candidate. Then it has a writer, Dino loses to Yusuf as Moro, Ikpeazu, Galadima, Keita, Ishaku, Ibori's daughter. Others win PDP senatorial tickets. And then we have court orders MC Olomo others to stop collecting union levies. Renewed court clash claims another 2 in Abeokuta. Then we have the update on the day mayhem. FCT arrests 15 suspects. Right. Those are the major stories on the Tribune for today.
Okay, well, that's quite an interesting one. I'd like for you to respond, or I would say react to some of the stories this morning. We saw the drama about the Okorocha arrest yesterday when he refused to turn himself in. Was that really necessary?
Well, before I come to that, the issue of CBN raising interest rate, 13% for this our economy, and we want to grow. People are talking of single digit. It should go maybe 5%, 6%. But I don't know.
Perhaps it would be the best way to control inflation in their thinking.
Okay, we wait to see. So we go to Rocha's Okorocha. When Financial Intelligence Unit, EFCC, they said, look, we're going to fight corruption. Before we even go into you doing the man-to-man kind of show of force, we must have had our own investigations, and we formally invite you. Now, if you also been invited, why don't you simply honor this? Excellency, former governor, and we're talking of a distinguished senator. I mean,
an aspirant for the presidential
exactly,
ticket.
presidential aspirant. We are talking of men of honor. If really there's no skeleton in any cupboard, why were the doors shut? Now you're screaming that your bulletproof door has been destroyed.
Well, he argues that there's no warrant for his arrest, so.
Well, but did he jump bail? Did the court invite him and he did not go? If he didn't, of course, that's another thing entirely, within the trial process. Not to appear when indeed you are granted bail is a different thing. A trial within a trial, we handle that separately. But again, men of honor, if simply you don't have a skeleton to hide, I mean, we should. What kind of sympathy was it that you now want to run live video how they are banging on your door, let people see, and some people went there to protest.
Exactly. What do you think of those protesters?
Honestly, you see, we are in a situation where this economy is terribly bad. With 5,000 naira, some people can do quite a lot of harm to society. And of course, we are even seeing where some candidates are saying, look, I gave you money, you vote for me.
I saying those protesters were hired.
I think that at a point, some will either be hired or they feel their relations, or indeed they have or they must have enjoyed some goodies from the serving senator. And that's why they could go, use their chests to shield the senator against any bullet. Thank God the bullet was not fired. But I think that sometimes we should allow the law agents to do their thing. Because to obstruct even the policeman from doing his job is also an offense. So it's a serious thing that we Nigerians should be looking out for. And again, you look at the attacks on farmers. It's another serious, very sad story in Nigeria. Look at RAN. RAN has always been on the very wrong side of our story. Remember when there was this friendly fire, the Air Force mistook some residents and fired and killed many people. It was discovered that they were not Boko Haram members. And at the point too, some people went farming in the same RAN a year ago.
Yes.
They all were slaughtered.
Yes.
I mean,
Look
at the word.
In a huge number.
Yes. Look at the word, slaughtered. That their throat were slit.
Yeah.
I mean, it tells you the level at which humanity has gone into this country. Now, again, we're talking of the same RAN. And not just RAN, GBA and Co. and some other communities that don't get mentioned at all. You see that continuously some of these things are happening, they don't get mentioned. Nobody is there to hear their cry. They cry and simply say, in God we trust. And God, of course, well, they are waiting, and many of us are waiting. And so the government at this point on earth, yes, they are the God that we have.
All right. Okay, now let's take a look at more papers this morning. On the Punch newspaper, quite interesting one. The lead story is a political story. It says APC governorship tickets. Aggrieved aspirants seek direct primary. Alleged governors hijack delegate list. You also have the Buhari meets governors, National Assembly leadership, party adjust timetable fourth time, Abiodun in closed-door meeting with Adamu, Akinlade, others right party leaders. And then you also have the story at the very top of the Punch newspaper, 51 million phone owners lack NIN, barred from making calls, according to a report. You have Buhari backed Osibanjo on Daura's removal. VP not a religious bigot as alleged. That's according to Ajulo. And then MAN, LCCI, others kicks as CBN raises lending rate to 13%. Jonathan meets Buhari's nephew, Mamman Daura, amid presidential beat. And then you also have the pictorial there showing you the drama that happened yesterday at the residence of Rochas Okorocha. And then you see that EFCC breaks into Okorocha's Abuja residence, arrest ex-governor after 7-hour siege. At the very bottom, Lagos teacher flocks pupil over homework, victim vomits and dies. Okay, that's another tragic one. My mother-in-law lost a daughter last year, wife of a sound engineer killed in Lekki. You also have aspirants hopeful as PDP holds governorship primaries today. Well, there's a bit of a tension in the states as regards the party primaries. This weekend, well, is going to be a whole lot. We're going to be seeing a lot of drama. The Nation also puts it this way. It says tension in states over PDP APC governorship primaries. Bigwigs win more PDP Senate tickets. JAM remitted 27.2 billion naira in 5 years, says registrar. And then government to settle varsity ploy, teachers pay with 34 billion naira. And well, about the politics in the states, some are already asking for their monies to be returned back to them. You know, I mean, so this whole delegate thing and everything, they seem to be the most important people in the polity around this time, this season, isn't it?
And I think that for now, you see that the delegates as they are called ad hoc delegates. Because the statutory delegates will not be voting. Who are these statutory delegates? Those days, President Buhari is already automatically a candidate to vote, so to speak, or a delegate, so to speak. Vice President automatically is one. Then you also look at those you call stakeholders, like Tinubu, Namadi Sambo. These are stakeholders in the party. They are always automatic candidates. But now the Electoral Act, Chapter 5, Section 84, Section 12.
84.
Yes, it's saying, look, if you are an appointee, like ministers, PAMSEC, SAs, either to governor or president, you can't vote. But the same law forgot to say that if you are elected, you should vote. So that place is the one responsible for what we are seeing now. And that's why when there were Congress elections before now, those are the candidates that will vote. Osinbajo, yes, on Wikeo, just name all of them, Tambuwal, Tinubu, they'll just go there and be sitting. These delegates who indeed are real villagers, sometimes are the ones to decide their fate.
Are they really villagers? Because
As
you know
sometimes,
there are allegations that the governors hijack the whole thing.
List.
In some instances, there is even no nomination. The governor does the whole nomination for all the people that will be delegates in the primaries.
You said allegation, but I want to tell you that before now, these delegates were elected by all the political parties because it is an INEC requirement of which they all complied with. So these are the delegates that will move in to vote, and that's why if you check the number, there are so few.
How important are these delegates in changing the whole narrative about politics in Nigeria and shifting the paradigm, especially if you look at the fact that now they are being compromised and people pay them money. How sensitive is their office is their role rather?
Let me add to that. Even if you had done or you are to adopt what you call the old style, whereby you bring these delegates, everybody, including statutory and non-statutory, or super delegates, as some people will call them. See, when you have your ballot paper, the sitting arrangement is already known. His Excellency is seat number 1, is voter card number 1. The next is number 2, next number 3. So you can at the end audit and know who has voted and who did not vote for such a person. But as we have it now, these delegates, I want to tell you, some are really from the farms. I am telling you this because they come from wards in the local governments, and it's not every local government that is urban based, like you have Amak or you have Lagos Island. You have some people coming from real villages, and indeed they are the ones to determine the fate of these people. Even when the governors were saying they have hijacked. You see, it's different from when you have commissioners, you have SAs, you have ministers. They all are already in one hotel, and of course, they've been enjoying the goodies of life. Now they are also
Yeah, but that goes for the same villagers
yes,
who,
yes.
you know, who, I mean, for instance, who see this as an opportunity, you know, to, you know, get...
It is an opportunity for them to also determine who indeed becomes a candidate. Even Nigeria...
But do they see it like that?
Well, I think that at the point, if you check the voting pattern, for example, in Kaduna State, truly, people who felt they could give out money. We've been talking about the son of Namadi Sambo here, who is now looking for reforms, having given 22 million with the hope that he will add more. And you look at the other opponent, ABG, or what is it called? He gave 2.5 with the hope that he will add up to 3.5. And the subsequent winner got it because he probably gave the highest money. 4 million.
Yeah, based on the story.
Based on the story, you know. You see, all of that, they are sending, unfortunately, or is it fortunately, on the side of these delegates, they're also empowering them somehow, somewhere. Okay. Because we are talking of corruption in politics.
Okay.
Let's take a look at
There is corruption in politics.
Okay, before we look at other papers, I want to look at this lead story in The Punch. APC governorship tickets, aggrieved aspirants seek direct primary, alleged governors hijack delegates list. Then Buhari meets governors, NAS leadership. Party adjusts timetable 4th time. What exactly is happening with the APC in your view? Because the APC was supposed to commence screening of its aspirants for the presidential primaries, which is supposed to hold the weekend. Yesterday, they said yesterday and today, and yesterday it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, the screening committee for the APC has not been set up. What exactly do you think is happening?
Well, you see, when there is a big case and there are lawyers in different camps, every group will now go and sit down, create for and against within their camp and debate. If that group says this way, this is what we are going to counter with. The other group is also doing same. So it is like that with these two political parties, PDP and APC. They are simply watching the steps. If you change, of course, they also change. Now PDP felt they can no longer change, and that's why they've done theirs. But if APC is still feeling they want to do all of it, they should be careful when it comes to the time given by INEC. INEC says, we are not going to shift. They've been demanding for that, for those changes, but INEC is saying they will not change anything. So they must. The weekend will decide quite a lot of the things. No matter how you delay and delay and delay, time is a factor, and that hour is coming. And that's why some people are saying, okay, these delays, they sound suspicious. Okay, we're now hearing that Goodluck Jonathan has gone to see Maman Daura, probably his ticket is still there. Some people are feeling that these delays are just to see that Jonathan comes on board or Mefile comes on board. These are all permutations, these are all speculations. But again, there is always never smoke without fire somewhere. And if some people are saying, let us simply have direct primaries where every delegate will come, either queue behind this or do real election for that person, because governors are alleged to be grabbing. Even if you bring the direct, these people will always carry them to some hotels, pay their bills, and give them some welfare. If you're an opponent, good luck to you. What you have is just God on your side.
Some persons have expressed concern that what the APC is doing could end up forcing the INEC to shift the deadline.
A student does not determine when exam should be. The teacher is the examiner, so he determines when the exam should be. And when you look at how powerful governors are, look at the ruling of the High Court. They say financial autonomy for local governments have all come to be. I mean, autonomy for the local government has come to be. And if that is the case, I mean, we're going to see better democracy. Local governments will now act as a third tier of government. But you can see that this issue of joint account by the state government, local government, is what the state governments as look, we're going to lose all of this. We're getting some free money here and there. And what is this free money? Okay. A local government cannot even construct a gutter. You have to take permission from the governor, His Excellency. It's not supposed to be so. As a third tier of government, you also make laws, the residual function of the local government. Okay. That's why they take care of dispensaries, take care of clinics, feeder roads, their own agriculture, markets, and all that stuff, so that you generate this money and develop these areas. But markets are being built by governors. It's not supposed to be so.
Okay, let's take a look at more papers. Now we'll look at the Guardian newspaper. The lead story there is on the primaries. Confusion trails Buhari governors meeting as APC adjusts timetable. It has a rider that says suspense over consensus option as Jonathan Daura meets. Then we have above the pictorial, there's a story there that says 2023 General Abubakar kicks against zoning. Defense 1999 Constitution. Then we have Ariwa youths warn Southeast governors of consequences over attacks on Northerners. Then there's a story here that says lawyer sues FG 12 Northern states for sharing in VAT realized from sale of alcohol. EFCC operatives storm Okorocha's Abuja residents, arrest him. And we have uneasy calm in Delta as Okowa-Ibori clash in Guba primary today. And then, of course, this story, unfortunate incident in Katsina. Terrorists killed 12 Katsina residents, injure others.
All right. Let's take a look at this day newspaper just before we take final thoughts on this. The lead story on the This Day newspaper, it says, Hayatuddin, 2023 presidential election is PDP's to lose. And then you have at the very top, citing inflationary concerns, CBN raises MPR to 13%, first increase in 13 months. So that's that. And then you have sporadic gunshots as EFCC forcibly arrest Okorocha for jumping bail. That's that for the This Day newspaper. Now, just before we go, I would like for us to talk about the primaries, the APC primaries. Confusion trails Buhari governors meeting as APC adjusts timetable. What are your expectations today as this meeting holds today?
We expect these implosions within the system. I mean, the water is boiling. But when it explodes, it's for us, for outside people to now see the result of these internal wranglings. But you see, when people were buying forms, there was an attached form that said, I have willingly withdrawn my candidacy. I mean, even when the contest had not come. And so some people are saying, I submitted that form. Some are saying, no, I withheld mine. And so that
and you cannot debate that in court. You know, the guidelines of the APC says you cannot take the party to court over this except you have exhausted all options within the party.
And before you exhaust all of that, time is out for you. And of course, let us recall, when APC couldn't hold its convention to select its national officers, there were always delegations, teams, governors, stakeholders going to see the president. We've come to see the president so that he can provide solution to the crisis. And when the president came with his own solution, everybody kept quiet. I say, Abdullah Adamu is the man. And of course, grumbling, some people had to withdraw. The president said, whoever bought the form, how much is it? Refund that. Yeah, now you could see some people on stage demonstrating against that order. I nurtured this party to reach this level. It's now my time to contest. Now they're saying I should step down. Where do I start again? So, if today the president decides to do a copy paste, since we can't come out of this, okay, on consensus I stand, and this is the person I want. Now he is the leader of the party. So what do? And you want to go to court? APC law is saying you can't go to court.
But do you think that whoever the president selects now, everybody is going to file behind him?
Well, you see, it can't be everybody. Democracy is a game of number. See, the minority will always have its say, but majority will always carry the day. So it's a game of number.
The reason I asked this is because you remember during the chairmanship of the party, the list that was provided, the governors did not go with that list. It was only for the chairman and for Senator Yola Omishore. Those were the only two people that, you know, the governors adopted from that list.
Yeah, all of them PDP candidates.
But the point is that it therefore means that even as much as they wait for the president, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are all or most of them are going to toe whatever line.
Absolutely. But the good thing about this one now is that elections had been done as to who is going to vote. So if you like deliberately, you can't change. Look, if it is Taylor that is there, you can't change it for Hanatu because the name is clear. It is already written. So there's a limit as to how you can manipulate issues.
Yeah,
so if you say the president is the leader of the party, and therefore you've run short of every available solution, and the president now says, okay, in that case, this is the best and the final solution. So be it. I rise like a court.
All right.
It ends.
All right. Well, thank you so much.